All right, guys, get ready for the most epic video you will ever see. This video can change your life if you allow it to. So, I am permanently in a psychedelic trip, and I'm going to prove it to you. Now, what do you mean by that, Connor? Well, my pineal gland is producing so much DMT naturally that I am permanently in a psychedelic trip. This is not some joke. I'm not trolling. Watch this video and you will see that this is completely true. I'll tell you exactly what I'm experiencing later in this video, so be patient. Now, why do you care? Connor, you're so crazy. You know, I kind of believe it. I kind of believe you're in a giant psychedelic trip. That would explain how you're acting. Why do I care about this? Well, the claim is that, although relatively speaking, to the average person's conceptualization of reality, this is some giant psychedelic trip. But in reality, this is truth. I'm actually seeing the universe as it is, rather than with these illusory concepts that you're seeing the universe with. And the claim is that when you see reality for what it is complete liberation. Mental suffering is demolished. You abide in a state of complete freedom and bliss. And the claim is that anyone can get to this state. So, there's a lot in it for you. I suggest you care about this. So, how do I prove this? How do I prove to you that I'm in a permanent psychedelic trip and that my pineal gland is producing massive amounts of DMT naturally? Well, my idea is to take an extremely large amount of orally active DMT and take a sobriety test and show you that nothing changes. Now, YouTube, chill. Before you demonetize this video, I will explain how this video completely abides by advertiser-friendly guidelines, so be patient, YouTube moderators. So, what I will be doing is taking a very large amount of ayahuasca on camera. Now, technically it's not ayahuasca, it's an ayahuasca analog, and I'll explain that further. But let me be clear. I am not promoting this. YouTube, do you hear this? I am not promoting this. This is a spiritual, but yet scientific. We're combining them. Science and spirituality are overlapping in this video. It's beautiful. This is a scientific experiment, and I'm not promoting this. Also, these two substances that I'm taking are completely unregulated and completely legal. So here's how ayahuasca works. Ayahuasca is a combination of two different things: a monoamine oxidase inhibitor and a DMT-containing plant. Normally, if you would take a DMT-containing plant, it would be broken down by this enzyme, so you have to take the enzyme inhibitor along with it. Traditional ayahuasca is the vine, the copy vine, and that is a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. And then you take a DMT-containing plant along with it. I will be substituting the monoamine oxidase inhibitor, the ayahuasca vine, with another monoamine oxidase inhibitor called Syrian rue. And I'll be taking a DMT-containing plant called Chalipanga. It's a lot of technical stuff. For all intents and purposes, I'm taking ayahuasca. Now, the difference is that I'm not combining these substances until they're in my body. These substances are separate, and each substance is completely legal, completely unregulated. You can buy this online. Not on the dark web, on a legal website. Okay? Also, YouTube, studies show that ayahuasca is non-addictive. It is non-addictive. In fact, it helps cure addictions. Many studies have also shown that it's completely safe. And you will see, YouTube moderators, watch the whole video. I will be completely safe. Nothing will happen. This is not dangerous to do. In any way, I'm not promoting this, but you can see, at least for me, you'll be able to tell if you watch this entire video, no danger. Okay? And YouTube, I am not getting high. Do you hear me? I'm not getting high. In fact, the whole video is proving that I'm not getting high. So there's no reason for you to demonetize this video. Be fair, YouTube. Look at this objectively. So, how much should I take to prove that I'm releasing all this DMT naturally? Well, I think I should take a lot. See, the thing is, I can take as much ayahuasca as I want, and nothing will happen. I can take all the ayahuasca in the world, and nothing will happen. That's how much DMT I'm releasing. So, let's look at the dosages. About 3 grams of Syrian rue is pretty standard to sufficiently eliminate the monoamine oxidase. 3 grams. So I decided to take 5. There's no reason to take more than 5 because all the monoamine oxidase will be completely eliminated and it will completely allow the DMT to be absorbed in the bloodstream. So I'll be taking 5 grams of Syrian rue. How much Chalipanga should I take? Well, let's look at the dosages, the common dosages of Chalipanga. As you can see, 15 grams is a pretty strong dose. I've taken 15 grams before and gone to another dimension. Okay, so how much should I take now? Well, I was thinking 30. Might as well. You know, I'm going to drink this in a smoothie, so I don't want to taste it too much. So 30's a lot. 30's going to make the smoothie not taste so good, so I thought I'd stop there. But really, I could take an unlimited amount, and it wouldn't do anything. So about 30. See, if a normal person was to take 30, they'd go to a completely other dimension. They would die. Not a physical death, but they would have an ego death. They would go completely out of body, completely lose their sense of self, and come back. They might not remember this, depending on how well practiced they are in meditation and awareness, but they would completely die, psychologically speaking. Let's see what happens to me. Now you might be saying, Connor, you just have a tolerance to DMT. You crazy fool. You take this so much. You've just developed a tolerance. No. See, DMT does not have a psychological tolerance. This has been studied. So essentially, you take DMT one day, and then you take it the next day, you will trip harder on DMT the next day. And by the way, just to clarify, okay, DMT is to ayahuasca as smoking weed is to edibles. Okay, you get that? Anyway, DMT has a reverse tolerance. So in fact, if I took it yesterday, theoretically speaking, I would trip harder today if I were a normal person. But also I haven't taken it in a very long time. So the tolerance, even if there were some tolerance, would be gone. But there is no psychological tolerance for DMT. Also, Connor, you just might not react to it. You might be non-reactive. I don't know. Some people don't really react to THC. You just might be non-reactive. You don't believe that. If you've watched my videos. 6 months ago, I went to an ayahuasca ceremony, and I went absolutely crazy. I went crazy. It wasn't all planned out. I just went crazy. So, obviously, this had a huge effect on me. Obviously. I mean, my whole life is completely changed. I'm some spiritual teacher now instead of some weird douchebag that rips off his shirt for girls, okay? Obviously, this substance has sent me into another dimension where I realized a bunch of things about the truth of reality, right? Even if you don't believe that I realize the truth of reality, obviously, I have tripped on this stuff, right? So this stuff used to affect me, see? And then it gradually stopped working as my pineal gland started producing a ton of DMT and I started integrating this DMT psychedelic trip into my reality. Does that make sense? So, Connor, okay, you're producing all this DMT in your pineal gland. What are you experiencing right now? Well, I'm not experiencing anything too different on the surface. I'm seeing everything that you're seeing. I'm feeling everything that you're feeling. The difference is it's a little more vibrant. Colors look a little better. Sounds sound a little better. Everything feels a little better. That's just because I'm more aware. That's just, you become more aware through meditation. You're more in the present moment. And so everything's a little better. But what really has changed is the context behind everything. Okay? See, you think that we're living in this objective material reality that you're separate from. You're here, this is you, and the universe is separate. If you close your eyes, The rest of the universe still exists. That's what you think. You've taken this for granted, though. This is a huge assumption, and it's a false assumption. See, in reality, this is a subjective reality made of mind. And you are not separate from any of it. You are not this mind and body. You are much more. You are the entire bubble of consciousness. See, just as in a dream, you're experiencing the avatar in the dream. You're experiencing the character, but does that mean that's who you really are? No. You're the entire dream. Your mind is creating the entire dream. And you realize this when you wake up. When you wake up in a dream, or a lucid dream, not wake up from the dream, but when you become lucid in the dream, you realize that the entire dream is you, that it's your mind, that it's your imagination, and that you're actually the mind behind the dream. You're not the character that you're experiencing in the dream. And just as you can wake up in the dream and become lucid in the dream, you can wake up in reality and become lucid in reality to what this actually is. It's the exact same structure as a dream. All this can be verified through direct experience. And see, here's the thing. When you take DMT, you get little glimpses of this. DMT is like this truth that's, boom, implanted into your mind. But the problem is that your mind is filled with all these illusory concepts about the nature of reality, that your mind doesn't know how to interpret this truth that this substance is giving you. And so it interprets it as this weird nonsense, this weird psychedelic trip type stuff, right? It's the same thing as if you show a child complex mathematical equations. He will see that as some foreign language. He will not be able to interpret that. His mind will not see it for how it is until he builds up the mathematical knowledge, and then he can see the mathematical equations for how they actually are. They're actually truth, see? So once you start rewiring your brain to conceptualize reality how it's supposed to be conceptualized, after you experience what reality actually is directly, then everything starts to make sense. Then DMT does not have some psychedelic effect on you. DMT is what you're producing naturally. See, you're just seeing the truth. Your mind no longer interprets it in this weird, wonky way. Everything aligns up, and you see it for how it actually is. So, don't believe me, by the way. This can all be verified through direct experience. And yeah, I say we do a little experiment to prove it. Let's take a ton of orally active DMT. And just how? If you were to take 50 milligrams of caffeine when you were already on 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, nothing would happen at all. That's exactly what will happen here. And so, yeah, I think it's time to take some ayahuasca. All right, guys, so future Connor talking here. So around 6:10, I took 5 grams of Syrian rue. Just swallowed it, all right? Then I waited about 30 minutes for it to kick in, and then I took 30 grams of the DMT-containing plants, known as Chaliponga. Mixed it in a smoothie. As you can see here, I'm terrible at making smoothies. Absolutely terrible. All right, so it took me a while. Needed to add some more fruit because it didn't taste very good. But eventually, I completely downed that smoothie that contained 30 grams of Chaliponga. Now, bear with me. You can skip through this part if you want. I don't want to speed it up too much because I want you to see that it is one continuous, uncut clip. I waited 2 hours when normally the ayahuasca would peak. All right, so normally at this time, someone should be in a hardcore psychedelic trip, in another dimension, completely out of body, unable to move, talk, anything. All right? That's what would usually happen 2 hours after taking this. But let's see how I reacted to it. Enjoy. Yo, what's up, guys? So it is 8:53. Let's see if we can refresh that real quick. So yeah, 8:54 now. And it's been like 2 hours. Nothing has changed whatsoever. I'm not tripping. There is zero trip. And when I mean zero, I mean absolutely zero. So everything looks the exact same. Not even the slightest visual. Not even the slightest altered state of consciousness. Nothing has changed. I've just been meditating this whole time. Got into a pretty deep state of meditation. But everything's the exact same. No psychoactive component to what I'm witnessing right now at all. I don't know how to be more clear. I don't know how to make you believe this, other than the fact that if a normal person or the old me were to take the amount of those two plant substances that I did, I would be in a trance. I would be in a completely other dimension. I wouldn't be able to talk. I wouldn't be able to do anything. I would be beyond mind, right? So, yeah, it just goes to show you that, yeah, what I'm saying is real. So let's do a quick sobriety test. I know this isn't really designed for psychedelics. It's designed for like alcohol, but might as well. Fun, right? So, how does this go? Can you guys see this? What else did they do? The one leg, see anything? Mm-hmm. Also, I don't even know exactly what this is for, but we'll do it anyway. Might as well. Let's see, they do the little light thing. I'm supposed to like follow the light with my eyes. I don't know, but I don't know what else to say. I'm completely sober. I'm happy, blissful, peaceful, but I'm always like that now. So, yeah, this is me. I just took that much, and I'm completely sober. So, yeah, it usually peaks around an hour and a half to 2 hours for me. Peak usually lasts 1 or 2 hours. So I should be right in the middle of another dimension right now. But I'm not. I'm here with you. Right? I'm with you. In the same sober reality that you're experiencing, I'm just experiencing it in a radically different context. Right? I truly feel like I'm in a permanent psychedelic trip. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this opened your mind. I hope it expanded your mind. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.